when you're a business and you've got people following you, if you know how to connect to that business or that clientele, then you're doing quality and quantity at the same time.
Welcome to Business Wine and Cheese. We have Alex, and you're going to have to help me pronounce your name, Korakowski. Is that any close?
It's Aleksandar Jason, but of course, Kostadinotsky with the surname, but I stick to Aleksandar Jason.
Yeah, thank you for coming along to the show. We have Theo on the passenger seat today.
I'm injured.
He's injured. He can only turn
That's why
like a robot.
I can't turn left.
Oh, my leg! Stay!
I was going to have a neck brace on. I've got a heat back there. Might pull it out soon, but it's okay. I'm going to live, so it's all good. So, mate, it's up to you to talk about the wine today.
It is an
Other way.
Exoto.
Can you read? It's Spanish.
Yeah, it is Spanish.
Yeah.
It's a Boceto de Exoto.
Okay.
Okay, we'll give it a go. It's a Vino Tinto.
Oh, perfect.
Sí, vino tinto.
Vino Tinto.
¿Por qué no?
¿Por qué no? So we'll give that a
Christian's slowly been going blind over the last 4 or 5 years. He's been in denial, but now that he's actually usually wears glasses, when he tries to read something, he can't see at all.
Yeah.
Is he the type of person that zooms in onto the...
Yeah, but he's trying to tell me that it's not Spanish. I've just bought it from the Spanish section.
I'm getting to the point that I can't really see that right now. I have to actually go, and I'm trying to dissect. Yeah.
Mate, so welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Cheers. Probably the only sort of social gathering way we can say hello without shaking hands.
Yeah.
So it's a great timing for that.
So we'll be hugging, kissing by the end of it.
A bottle usually does that.
We always start with the origin story, so we'd love for you to go as far back as you can.
Yeah. So I think from my grandpa's side, he came over to Australia like most migrants and started his own business as a chef. So for that, I think that was installed into my family's sort of DNA, starting your own business.
You were born here?
I was born here.
Yeah,
Thankfully, they brought me over from, Europe at the time wasn't as successful in sort of business. So when they came over here, my father, growing up, I think he was born overseas, came here 18 months. So he sort of started as an Aussie.
Yep.
And I'm technically first generation Australian. My wife, on the other hand, her sort of sides come here. I think she's second or third generation now.
Right.
But for me, as someone of European background, I saw myself as, I have to sort of push my roots. And growing up, I saw my grandpa work hard and I saw my father work hard with their own businesses. So when I finished high school, I had no clue what to do.
Right.
I honestly didn't want to go into the workforce and I wanted to get...
How were they with high school with you?
Look, they expected me to be a doctor and something, and my mum still lied to people that I was a graphic designer, not a photographer, because a lot of people didn't think that photography was a job.
Real job.
Because you probably remember all of the European and sort of even Spanish photographers back then, they used to have studios. And 50 people used to line up on one big wall photo. And that was the wedding photo they had.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen all your grandparents' photos or anyone that's showing you their first wedding photo.
Yeah. Your grandfather will probably go, I'm a photographer, look.
Literally, and you see all the home cameras they had, and they didn't use it in a business way. But for me, I started my own business, and then even my grandma, may she rest in peace now, she used to look at me and be like, oh, you're doing what you like, have fun with it. Yeah. My brother, on the other hand, he wanted to do football, so he's still playing and still pushing that dream. But for me, I didn't know what my dream was until high school. Right. I graduated, went to sort of a folio course in Northlands called A.K.A, so it's like a design course.
Right.
And just there, maybe 19 years old, I realised that I can start a sort of alias name. So I called myself Adam, not Eve. Okay. No one was giving me a job, so I said, I'll go into the club scene. I started taking photos of like nightclubs.
Right.
Got into the music scene. Adam, not Eve then became a little magazine. I hired about 6 to 7 people to write for me and go to music gigs with me. Mm-hmm. When people saw me at nightclubs, they were like, who's this Adam Not Eve guy? So I love that sort of alias name. And this was around Tumblr, sort of Vice magazine.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Vice Mag gave me an opportunity to take photos of nightclubs and stuff. So I created this little name for myself. Towards maybe 19, 20, maybe like later stage when I had a partner, like my wife now, Chantel, I thought I need to make money, I need to push myself. And that's when Aleksandar Jason came about.
Right.
And then slowly out of nowhere, Melbourne City hired me. I got jobs with Nike, Puma, Oakley. So I think the best thing that I look back at it now, so it wasn't that sort of push to make my own sort of impact on my world, then I wasn't like letting it take over me. I wanted to control where I go. So that's cool. The slightest way of explaining it all.
No, that's good. It's a nice little summary.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
I think the best thing at school that I learned was that even if you have no friends, I didn't have many friends.
Right.
But I think the best thing is that I learned, like, you know, when I finished studying at the Folio course, went to RMIT, and I met someone like Paul.
Yeah.
I think it's the sort of people you meet in life that
Absolutely.
teach you how to, you know, grow your business, but individually as well.
Yeah.
And I think school is just there to guide you to make sure you just follow sort of like, how can I say this? Not a social society path, but more a path of education. Just
Yeah, a little bit of discipline, I think.
Yeah, discipline's probably a great word.
I think that's what I took more out of school, that, you know, you have to get up in the morning. You
Yeah.
have to go to the classes. You have to do your homework.
presentable and
Yeah,
just
and
small
all that.
things like that.
Yeah.
Definitely didn't do my homework. I think school.
Neither.
I think school. The only good thing about, and look, I was privileged. I went to a Catholic school, so
Likewise.
the only thing that I got from it was the network.
Yeah. And look,
I cruised through.
teachers used to laugh at me when I said I liked like artsy stuff. You know, I always said to my art teacher at the time, like, oh, what about photography? Because I was still playing on in year 12. I won't mention the school. But they used to laugh at me and say, hey, you're going to make a living from that.
Yeah.
And I think looking at it now, kids are so grateful.
Yeah.
Even year 12 students, like they can start businesses from Instagram and even TikTok and stuff and become entrepreneurs at the age of 18. Even 16-year-olds, you see people like the TikTokers now, like Charlie and like, they're just making millions. And then there's people like our parents and the ones before them who used to work hours and for like nothing.
Yeah.
They couldn't even afford a house compared to now where kids are so...
You'd have to have 3 jobs and literally sleep 2 hours.
And there's still mums and dads out there working 3 jobs to make a living.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think I'm privileged in the sense that I've worked to the point where I'm in this generation, in a sort of lucky generation.
Absolutely. Good way to put it, man.
How did you find, like, with teachers, I mean, back in my day, like, it was a long time ago, but they were very encourageable. I mean, my arts teachers were very encourageable. I think it was a time where, like, say, you know, all the parents are, you got to be an architect, you got to be a doctor, you got to be... But there were a generation of teachers, you know, around that time where they will say, my arts teacher goes, oh, you should do it, you should do this, you have talent, you should pursue it. Did you have any of that at school?
But my PE teacher was my favourite because even though, like, I was involved with sports, but my PE teacher, American background, he was just so, you know... Actually, funny enough, he's the father of Bradley Norton, who played for South Melbourne and Adelaide United. And he was always saying to me, you know, you got to push for your dreams. You got to keep pushing. You know, there's certain teachers you connect with. I think my arts teachers never they were just there to make a living in a sense of just teachers. But another teacher I connected with was probably like, funny enough, my religion teacher. Even though I didn't connect with it, being Orthodox background at a Christian school. You're like, what? Jesus had his left leg over the right leg, right leg over the left leg.
Right.
And you're like, what are you teaching me?
I know Jesus. I know he
but I think
my dad in the band.
it's that one. Jesus, but it's that teacher. Like I think it's I could even say, you know, a friend could be a teacher in school. You know, someone that if they make a mistake, you learn from their mistakes. If you make a mistake, not doing your homework, I think that was the sort of key points I learned.
Right.
Yeah.
How'd you transition out of school into sort of, you know, so it sounds like, I'll let you answer the question.
No, that's fine.
But it sounds like your social skills and your, you know, the interest in your craft, but also socially wanting to sort of be part of something helped you with your sort of make the transition?
I think the social world influenced me a lot in the sense that I saw the bigger world out there after graduating. School was great in a way that taught me many things, but then getting out in the world, I did work at sort of places like Kmart and KFC just to make a couple of dollars, but I just didn't see the sort of benefit in working in 9 to 5 in a sense. No fulfillment in a sense of a personal endeavor or personal fulfillment. Sure. And I said, no, I've got to find something. I started websites, anything sort of like a side hustle. And then everything I learned from there, I think it just became and it arose from that.
Yeah. So you think
benefit.
It was a natural thing then?
I think it was just lucky place, lucky time. I worked in a way that put me in areas and I chose the right path.
Do you find yourself that you're persistent?
Look, I'm really doubtful of myself in a sense that sometimes I don't give myself that sort of encouragement or saying, oh, you did well. So sometimes I get to a point where I'm like, I could have done that, but then I can't look back. I've got to push forward.
Regrets, man. You never know.
Yeah, look.
Whichever way you've gone is the way that you're going to know the outcome of. The way that you didn't go, you're never going to know unless you try it. Right? So there's no point looking back.
And I love my father to the point where he says to me, like, oh, I wish I did photography. And I don't want to be that sort of point in my life where I'm like, I wish I did that. So, you know, starting that channel with YouTube now, I'm like, I'm just going to do it. If it fails, it fails. At least I tried, you know. even taking on friendships and stuff, you know, you take them on, and then if you feel uncomfortable, we sort of fade away.
Yeah.
And then you find new friendships. I've made friends from friends, and then that friend that not use, but like the connection, the leapfrog effect, friend is now become a closer friend than that person because you sort of...
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong because sometimes...
It's just networking.
100%. And networking,
sometimes you just click... The energy is just better with other people than...
100%.
I'll let you take a drink.
Yeah, don't worry.
As
I keep looking at it.
Sort of think about, you know, the reason I was asking about the transition, and I think you have sort of a parallel to what I've seen. You know, mum was born overseas. You know, dad's parents got here 2 years before he was born. Very similar. You know, through school, hammered me, do your homework. Bachelor of Entrepreneurship, what the hell is that? That's not uni. You know,
can you cut someone open?
Passionate like came up in the music scene, avid sports basketball player, very, very similar. So I'm interested. That's what I was sort of asking. But it's funny, you know, I think that I'm a natural entrepreneur. That's why I was sort of asking, you know, if you felt like it was dry, you know, you sort of naturally found your way there, because I found that, you know, I just knew. I mean, I did do a couple of days, and I know we've said this on another episode, did a couple of days of work experience at a law firm, and that was like, okay, I definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I never could have done it because I just did not have the will to sit that long and study and read stuff. Like, if I read the board there, I'll fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like, I hate reading. So
I do like to see in the future, like when you're 10 or a certain stage where they do work experience, I wish they would give kids an opportunity, like, you know, go spend a week on Instagram, try and do a side hustle, you know?
Yeah.
Start a business on your Instagram now.
That has to be part of the curriculum moving forward.
Has to be, because there's jobs that don't exist that our kids and stuff will take on.
Yeah.
If my parents knew that, you know, my son's going to be making money through Instagram, like if I told, like, for example, Instagram...
MySpace didn't even exist when I was in year 10.
And the whole music side of MySpace was a massive benefit. A lot of musicians like deadmau5 and stuff became amazing producers because of that.
Yeah.
You know, I saw an opportunity on Instagram 2009. I jumped onto it and I got this amazing following in the early stages, got featured a couple of times. I got travelled across Africa. I went over to Europe, did a few blog posts, and Heineken flew me to Ibiza. So I did amazing...
From your photography?
From Instagram, just winning competitions. I'm sure Paul can...
Photography competitions?
Yeah,
That's
stuff
incredible.
like that. And it flew me over. And then recently, you know, even like... just organising a trip with Paul and a few friends. We're just like, let's go to Japan. And with that, Man City connections. And I see an opportunity now, we have to take it. So I would love to sort of see the next generation of kids being like, you know, you see something, go take it. Otherwise,
I think there will be.
School's going to have to get, going to have to get more practical. Especially, I mean, it's important in high school that it happens, but especially... you know, after high school, the more sort of traditional education, you're already sort of seeing it, but there needs to be, you know, more practicality in it. Otherwise, people just will not pay these stupid fees to go to these schools that have no relationship to the real 100%. World.
I'm getting calls every day, and saying, we need to go online. I need to get my courses online. I need to film my yoga classes online. People aren't going to... I think this...
Especially now. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like you see this generation that we're in now with this COVID situation is that it's teaching us that the future of education is going to be online. Like kids do not have to leave their houses. You know, we see a lot of families go to Japan and go to Korea, like I say, Western cultures, and the kids have to go in school and, you know, learn English or learn Korean. But there's now ways that they can just learn school from home and don't have to go integrate into that sort of schooling industry. But I think the best thing that the next generation will be is that a lot of kids will have the more desire to learn because it's much more accessible.
Yeah.
Unlike us that grew up in a sort of generation where it was like, go to school, do your homework, you know, make sure you know maths.
They've seen more... Go on.
No, so I was going to say, like, when I was growing up, I was a little bit lucky. My dad's a musician. So, but my dad also was a cabinet maker.
Hard work.
There was instruments all over the house, you know.
Music and cupboard making.
Yeah, it's very opposite, yeah. And then when he started, after he finished his high school years, he started doing graphic designing. So he was very talented. He was very talented. He was very artistic and all that.
I love that.
But I to this day, I always remember, my dad never said, you have to go to school. He said, you should go to school. Not you have to, he goes, you should. But he always made it available. If I was doing some art school, he'll, for example, make me a tripod to put my paintings on there so I can do it. If I'm doing music, he'll buy keyboards so I can play keyboards. So it was always kind of encouraging that way.
Subtle way.
In a subtle way, not pushy. Or for example, because he was very good with artistic and everything, so I'll be doing I was very into science. I was like chemistry, physics, calculus, all that. I don't know why I was drawn to it, but I just found it very interesting. And he'll sit me down, and if I was doing a physics experiment, he'll actually go into his tool, his workshop, and if I need to make this, he'll make it for me. And he goes, okay, you can do this way. Put a board down. And so I found it it wasn't a push to do this, but
influence.
I think he just said you should try this at least.
Yeah.
He'll give me that try.
And to that point, the generation now, they're actually seeing that it is possible to do these things where coming up, especially because he's super old, coming up in the 70s,
my dad was from the 70s.
You're from the 70s. Coming up during that time, nothing wrong with people with experience and older people. Don't get me wrong, we're definitely looking for some of those people in our business at the moment. There's no room for ageism, that's for sure. But all jokes aside, at that time, there was no one that looked like you that did that thing that you dreamt of. You know what I mean? Like there was no one, not enough people that had done what you're, getting flown around the world because you've put photos in on a social media platform. Like what?
Yeah.
No, look,
it's incredible.
And like I still have my father pushing his side hustles there. He's doing his own little blogs and stuff online because there's opportunity,
Yeah,
and
so
I love that. I think like a lot of parents, there's two types of parents. There's the influential ones and the ones that push a lot in the sense that they sort of push their kids in the wrong direction. And I think a lot of parents, like my parents, like they didn't push me to go to school. They said, look, it's a good thing. You're privileged to go. So I was influenced a lot by, their sort of respect on us as kids to be, just respectful kids. And I learned a lot at school, how to dress, how to make sure I present myself, respect elderlies, young, different genders and stuff like that. I went to a boys' school, so I didn't really have that experience of, co-ed. Yeah. And that was a big difference for me, like being looking at kids that go to schools co-ed, and I'm like, why are they so messy? I'm not judging co-ed schools, but then you look at boys' schools and people used to look at me like, oh, you go to all boys' school, you must be like, and I'm like, that was a big issue back then. And like, there's no difference once you get out onto your own adventure. Like, that's your own adventure.
Yeah.
And still, my parents influence me today. My mum's probably my biggest advocate online. She'll say, awesome. She'll share my videos and stuff like that. My dad has 2 Facebook accounts, He has thousands of friends. And I'm like, how do you know these people? He's like, I just have LinkedIn. Connects. Like, he will message like a coach in, like, say, Europe or Uruguay and be like, hey, my son, my brother, he's a goalkeeper, go sign him. And like, like he has this sort of influence as well. Like
old school hustle in the technology world.
And like, cool. My grandma, again, my grandpa, they had Facebook to the age of 65, and then of course they passed away, so they didn't have it. But I reckon my grandma would have been huge on TikTok. She would have been that classic European lady on TikTok, swearing or saying something wrong. You've seen those videos. There's that mum on TikTok, the Serbian lady that says "Home and Away." I don't know if you've seen her. She's a massive Alf Stewart fan, and she's making thousands, and she's probably getting paid by endorsements by Channel 7 now just to say Alf Stewart. So, and like, I think when you look at your parents now, you could easily hustle them to make a TikTok and make money off them.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, here you go, pay off my school fees.
So I at least try every platform, especially for our own business. I was pretty early on TikTok from an experimental point of view. Obviously, COVID's happened, and before that, we've been growing the business. So my excuse is that I'm literally working every second I'm awake. But what I actually picked up, especially during COVID, because of those taking away that travel time each side, I've started picking up trading cards, basketball especially.
Amazing.
I've played basketball since I was 7. So I've got my TikTok channel called The Raw Founder, more for my business stuff, but I've started to do basketball posts as like sort of a side hustle content around my side hustle. And it's just like, I even tried yesterday, just for the sake of it, literally just putting a photo, a still shot that was like a video with no copy at all, and it's still got like a few hundred views.
Yeah. Because
I've got no followers.
Everyone wants to connect. Like there's people.
There's not enough
that want to
content for
connect.
the amount of people that want to absorb it.
Yeah. And
It's
everyone wants to
incredible.
know a story. Everyone wants to be a part of a group. Everyone wants to be identified in a way that they feel comfortable.
Right.
And I think, like, you know, as a photographer, I connected with the photography scene, but there's more about me that I want to share. And if there's people out there that want to connect, then there's that sort of point of bridging. You know, our parents still want to connect. They watch TV shows and Netflix and stuff just because they want to be a part of the know.
How do you use TikTok?
For me at the moment, I view it in a way that I can source, you know, comedy relief and then use that sort of energy on my side. I can't really produce content in a way that, at the moment, my travel stuff, I can't really connect with it because I haven't shot that content.
Yeah.
But with the football stuff, I look to, say, make short clips to get people interested. For example, the kid stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say, oh, here's like a 20-second clip of all kids going really fast, or South American kids.
Yeah.
I'm still learning in that sense. But I think at the moment I've really connected with Twitter and the Twitter sort of universe, Twitterverse as they call it.
Yeah.
And it's just so...
That's cool.
I didn't realize how...
Twitter's come back.
It's coming
deep.
back.
Yeah.
It's
because
deep.
everyone wants to connect.
Yeah.
And this forum, like,
Yeah.
like, what was it, MS back in the days? Like
Yeah.
the weird conversations where you talk to
MSN?
random... Yeah, no, before that, it was it.
No,
There's
I
a
know what
weird
you're talking
one.
About.
ICQ.
So many weird ones. But like, I used to...
DOS. I remember
think,
DOS.
Yeah, I think DOS.
That was back in the
Like
day.
I remember as a kid jumping on RuneScape and running around and just talking to people. And I think that's the big thing in business is that if you can connect, then no matter
Merc.
what... Yes, Merc, it was.
Sorry.
It sounded like some European kid you
That's
do.
the one. Yeah.
But like, I think as a business, no matter what you're doing, no matter what message you're selling, if you can connect, then you can sell. But
For sure.
yeah, that's the thing. It's connection.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
That's cool. Twitter, yeah.
I mean, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not taking anything away from you, but
Have a drink,
you're very lucky. You're very lucky having that talent, because it obviously gives you a leg up in succeeding on those platforms because they are very visual, right? So how did you go about growing your following? I mean, I don't know. There's so many platforms out there. Maybe pick a recent one like an Instagram or a.
Look, even
a TikTok.
Instagram, you know, like when I started Instagram, the whole travel stuff wasn't as big. And then a few people that I know, like this girl, Hello Emily, she put this whole style, and that's what people want. They want to follow something that's like a book or a story. And she just did these images where it's her standing in this view. And she got millions. And she was the first Australian, I think, influencer to reach 1 million. And flown over the world. For me, I see a lot of amazing photographers out there, but they don't have that social reach. So they're living their life, they're making their good sort of living in a sense that it's like off the social media market, but they're creating content. For me, it's always been about having a sort of seesaw way. It's like both good, because having a social life online, you can find avenues and ways of sort of promoting yourself that brings work in.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned when I was maybe 20 years old, is that if I want work, I've got to show people that I want it. And I think that's how I got the Melbourne City job. And
You're saying you got to ask.
yeah, basically,
Yeah,
you got to show people that you're wanting work. And Instagram was that big thing, so I started a football platform called That Football Photog. Again, I love alias names.
Cool,
I love
right.
having multiple different
That's cool.
names.
I'm
And
all about that.
Yeah, and it's sort of like having, I used to love that TV show, Alias. So that's why I got that sort of word in my head. And I was like, I have to have different names, because if people find my wedding, they'll book me for wedding. If I have a football, they'll book me for football.
Cool.
And I had That Football Photog. And that name grew in a way that, you know, Melbourne City saw it and like, hey, would you like a gig taking photos? And it started off just being training sessions, the games, and now to the point where I'm with the club. And that's the best thing about social media, is that you can start a business in a way that it's not your name, it's a business. No one identifies any sort of gender, any sort of nationality. It's just you and your passion and your goal. And then if you connect with people, then you grow this sort of environment that you want to sort of promote.
How have you thought about, you know, because platforms can die. I'm sure you've seen some
Vines,
die
heaps.
across.
Merc.
Yeah, well, exactly right. So you make.
Merc, wow.
So what do you think about? Because I think that's a really valid point around, you know, having a sort of, I guess, vertical specific channel. But what happens when you just want to be you. Like what I'm asking is, do you have a Jason Alexander overarching that all of them feed into, and that's like the big daddy?
It just continues. You sort of tease with your followers or people that follow your business, and you say to them, hey, I'm still doing this project, come have a look.
Yeah. Like for instance, if you wanted to start making cheese tomorrow.
I'll start making cheese, yeah.
Okay, but does that main...
Yeah, it was still teasing.
Jason Alexander.
Yeah, same thing. Don't worry. I know. I copped
Where'd
it
I get that from?
Seinfeld. Don't worry. I think my doctor's name was Jason. That's what my mom gave me, Jason.
That's right.
I'm just glad they didn't call me some weird name you can't even spell. Because I can imagine that. But that's the truth. Because my dog actually has Instagram, and his name's Chandler Bing, friends. And again, this is where my wife and I had the whole social media thing. We wanted to create this thing name for our dog, and even though he's not famous Doug the Pug, but when you look at Doug the Pug, you're like, shit, these two had this idea. And I'm pretty sure the mum of Doug the Pug, she explained what she did, and it was an idea in her head, and now she's just blown up in the sense that everyone wants to be Doug the Pug. Anyways, Chandler did a job for Visit Victoria, and Visit Victoria booked Chandler to be the face of Happy Places, Happy Spaces, our initial campaign. Okay. And our dog basically paid himself off. Gave us a holiday, 4 days away in Dalesford, hotels, wineries, cideries, all from a dog. Yeah. And when I tell my parents that, they're like, can you beep this out?
No, don't worry.
They're like, are you fucking serious? Your dog paid for a weekend away? I'm like, that's the generation we live in. If you've got an idea...
He's like, bitch, I own you.
And he wears all these clothes and stuff, and I'm like...
You're mad now.
This dog's but technically my son when I look at him, because he's done so much for us.
Yeah.
But he's loved, so I'm happy. But again, if I was to start cheese tomorrow, then I'd sort of loop that into my sort of media. I'm currently working this car deal where I'm going to get a car. I'll buy a car and work with a brand where the car's going to have an alias name and a social media presence that all my stories for the 12 months that I'm going to have this car, it's going to feed into my main part. Right. So this car, it's called Baggio because the footballer.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's called Baggio. So Baggio is going to be part of my life where here's Baggio at the studio getting my stuff out.
Okay.
You get me?
That's a cool story. I like that.
Yeah. And I love that. And I think...
How do you think about, that's a really good segue to what I wanted to ask here around quality versus quantity.
Yeah. Big.
Quality is subjective, right? How long do you spend on sort of thinking?
A lot.
You do?
A lot. Look,
so you're a quality guy.
I'm a quality guy, but also sometimes you can't dwell on it because sometimes I've posted something and I'm like, oh shit, I did better than I thought. And that's when you think, what's quality to the people that follow you?
Well, that's my point. Isn't it better just to get it all out?
But do you think quality comes natural because you like what you're doing anyway?
In a sense that people follow you. For example, if you subscribe to someone on YouTube and you want their content, then it's people wait for it. Yeah. This is one channel that I follow and I love his videos. And I'm not as a fanboy as all the comments, but people are like, oh my God, you uploaded a video. I'm going to have breakfast now and enjoy my day. It's that rush. It's like, oh my God, upload it. For example, I just started playing Call of Duty during this whole COVID period. And I get so excited the next morning because this guy does a feature video of the Reddit sort of submissions, and I get excited. So for me, it's it's quantity, but to me it's quality because it's something I've been waiting for.
You see that as quality, not the producer of the content. That's
what
my
I'm
point.
saying.
It's so subjective that and this is what I try and tell the team: just get it out. It's not up to you whether it's good or not. Yeah. Look, we all know something when it's terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
But that grey line between, should we put it out or not? Just put it out.
Yeah.
If you want to see quality over quantity, just look at the A-League current social media. They spent, I don't know if you've heard about it, they spent millions of dollars. I'm probably going to get shit on this if someone from the A-League sees it. But they spent millions of dollars to get someone to connect with the populace, to connect with the football media. And they're like, let's make it funnier, let's make it prettier.
Right.
And they're just putting all this shit and everyone's just like, oh, you're missing the point.
Yeah.
You're missing the point, And it's like when you're a business and you've got people following you, if you know how to connect to that business or that clientele, then you're doing quality and quantity at the same time. Yeah. But if you're a business just putting stuff out because you think you're going to connect with that, then maybe you're missing the mark by a lot because you've got a following, you know what they like.
Keep your audience in mind.
Yeah, 100%.
That's what it is.
And it's like those people that get excited to have breakfast watching your content, looking at your content, that's the people you want to feed.
I think you've hit it on the head.
Yeah.
It's not about quality, what you think is good enough to put out. It's keeping having the humility to keep your audience in mind and putting them first, like putting your customer first.
Look, again, as a photographer, my main feed, I want to post a portrait. If I post it, it doesn't get that sort of hit or reach that I want. It eats me alive, and I'm like, fuck, I should have not posted that. But then
Really?
again, what do I lose?
Yeah.
You actually gotten more views than you would have if you didn't post it.
100%.
Yeah.
And you learn over time, business, individual, no matter what your journey is, but you learn. And
Don't judge yourself.
Yeah, and you learn in a business sense that like, okay, I post that portrait and I'm like, okay, maybe there's another way I can change this. So then I'm like, I'm going to try something different. I tried it and people liked it. I'm like, okay, there's something else. So over time, people won't remember what you did 6 months ago because now they're
2 weeks
comfortable
ago.
to it.
Yeah.
And
No one remembers Jay-Z's shit album.
Yeah, since I've become an influencer.
Oh my God.
No, I'm just kidding. Like,
It's a
I don't
running
know.
joke.
I don't know anything like.
Correct. Just stop there.
Yeah, anything. I don't know anything.
Stop there. The episode's done.
Which is awesome, because like putting things on social media. I've never.
My neck's gotten a bit looser, actually.
Yeah, it's good. Have another
the
go.
wine.
Well, we need to fill you up.
No, thanks,
yeah,
sir.
putting things on social media for me had never been.
Thank you.
Sort of like. Not 100% understood it yet. I guess because I have a passion a lot for something that I'm really like. I love my music.
Yeah.
I'm all about music. I think about music. I go to sleep. Just before I go to bed, I jump in the computer to a bit of music. So my brain doesn't have enough space to actually do this open. But I enjoy watching it. I enjoy some of the things that some people like. I follow some people, like some artists, some painters, some photographers, some composers. That interests me because I always like watching what they do and what the next step is or what's something new that's.
You should add that to your lightning round. What tab do you always have open in your browser? Yours would always be Facebook.
Yeah.
To that point,
I
let's-
deleted Facebook.
Let's jump into lightning round.
Yeah.
Can you read it?
I think I can.
Do you need your glasses? The phone's upside down. mate.
Actually, can you read it?
Yeah, I'll read it.
You read
It's
it.
cool. I can do
It's
that.
actually serious.
Have you seen lightning round before?
I have in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so you just gotta, just gotta answer it quick. What's your favorite thing in your closet right now?
Or football jersey.
Okay, which one?
Currently PSG 93-94.
Okay. Which player?
No play on the back.
Okay.
But yeah,
Very good. If you had a spirit animal, what would it be?
pug.
Oh God. Did you just become best friends?
That's my dog. Chandler's a pug.
He's got
Yeah,
three.
really?
Yeah.
I've got 3.
3 pugs. You know, he probably showed you the photo. Yeah. That's Chandler.
What's the?
Call me Nighthawk.
I'm just gonna fix the typo in your questions here, mate.
What did you put in this wine?
What's the best piece of advice you've received?
Never be a carbon copy of someone else.
Awesome. If you had one superpower, what would it be?
Not to have anxiety.
Okay. What's your favorite movie ever?
Or Blade Runner. Yeah.
Okay.
Director's cut.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Who would you play?
Who would play you in a movie?
Oh, yeah. Who would play you in the movie of your life?
Shia LaBeouf. Everyone says that,
Yeah.
apparently.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really accurate. What was your last Halloween costume? I'm going to delete this one. I don't like it.
Last,
He's a
which
really
one?
good
Last
actor.
Halloween? Oh, yeah, he is.
He's
Have
a
you seen
really-
Eagle?
know which
Peanut
one.
Butter Eagle?
I just
Yeah,
deleted
I
it.
haven't seen that yet, but I want to see
You got it there. So he's making a lot of stories about his father and himself growing
Yes,
up.
he is,
yeah.
isn't he?
This is not lightning.
It's all right.
Have you ever tasted soap?
Soap?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay. I bet you have. What's your middle name?
Jason.
Okay, there you go. What makes you smile?
Lots. If anything, my wife and my dog.
Good. If you were famous, what would you be famous for?
Embarrassing myself.
Man, this has got typos in it. It's like it's in Spanish or something. What
What
new,
are you show? What are you trying to embarrass me like that in front of my guests?
okay. What new technology will transform the future?
Voice.
I completely agree with that.
Yep.
What is your most frequently used emoji?
Laughing face with tears on the side because I'm just always trying to react to people in that way.
What sound does an eagle make?
I'm not making that.
Yeah, you gotta. It's like a little baby.
That's a cool owl.
That's a baby.
Yeah, it's Bambino.
Thanks, mate. That was very good. Well
Yeah.
done.
Oh,
Cheers
perfect.
to that.
Thank you,
for
lads.
coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Cheers,
you. We just spoke for hours. That was perfect.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to watch more episodes as they launch. Don't forget to share with your friends and click here to watch more videos.